Boom. All right, let's go.
What magazine is for sale effective yesterday? Time Magazine. Do you know who owns Time Magazine? Mark Benioff. Do you know who Mark Benioff is? He owns what company? Salesforce. Do you know what his net worth is? $10.7 billion. You know who turned down an interview to Time Magazine just a month ago? Kamala Harris. You know what he bought Time Magazine for? $190 million. Do you know how many subscribers Time Magazine had when he bought them? 4 million. Do you know how many subscribers Time Magazine has today? 1.6 million. Wow. Do you know WAPO, when Bezos came out and says, I don't give a shit if I lose subscribers, 2.5 million subscribers, he says, I'm not endorsing Kamala. Overnight loses 200,000 subscribers, bunch of employees. LA Times loses employees. 200 papers, including USA Today, who typically would have endorsed the left, said we're not doing it. Comcast came out. They're like, look, all these other businesses we own, they're performing. Roku, performing. All these other guys are performing. Does anybody want to buy MSNBC? And I was like, no. Does anybody want to buy CNN? No, we don't want to buy them. By the way, CNN and MSNBC, celebrity people that get up there thinking you're very important, your salary's been declining because they're no longer making money. And the reason why you're seeing these CNN people bashing Kamala, showing a clip.
All right, man. So I think that what we see here, man, is we're starting to see a shift. And the shift that we're starting to see is, hold on a second. Media is not the same like it is anymore. And I think the election kind of showed that. The election really showed how many people were really believing what the media was putting out. And I think that it was a reality check, right? It was a straight reality check for them. Like, oh, snap, no one's listening. And again, I've heard of a lot of people that are Democrats on YouTube, two people specifically saying that they're losing hundreds and thousands of subscribers per day. And I think people are just unsubscribing to the lies. You know, I'll just be 100% with you. I think people are just done with the lies. They know that people keep saying the same story. And it's been like this for like almost 8 years. And people are tired. Now, some of this could be just post-election, meltdown, sadness because, their person didn't win and they don't want to hear anything else about the news. But I think it's less about that. And I think it's more about the fact that people are totally tuning out to legacy media. It's no different than a lot of us who used to watch cable back in the day. And now we just got streaming services. Like I'm about to watch the Netflix fight tonight, right? I don't have cable. I have the internet and I got Netflix and a couple things. I'd rather just tune into what I want, right? Instead of having cable I got 100 channels, but out of the 100 channels, I'm really only watching 4 of them. And so people are doing that with the media. And they're saying, I don't really want to listen to these biased news stations anymore. I rather listen to somebody that I enjoy on YouTube or podcast format and someone who's going to keep it real. That's just what people are doing now. I prefer to do the same thing, right? I got a few YouTubers that I enjoy watching for just regular content, and they also talk about politics. And when they talk about politics, they're not talking about it from the same standpoint as Van Jones from Crying Negro Network, aka CNN. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about it from a standpoint of this person that I watch on YouTube, what affects him as far as a business owner and why certain policies matter. And so when you hear that, you're not hearing that from CNN. They're telling you threat to democracy. He's Hitler and this and that. Those things aren't helping me answer my problem about how am I going to be able to, keep my business thriving. For example, I'm in real estate, right? What the hell is this going to mean for interest rates? What is this going to mean for the real estate industry? Because I know that there's a low inventory out there in the market. How are we going to fix these problems so that I can make more money and help my family? They're not talking about that on CNN or even Fox News. Be honest. But when you hear about it from other people, podcasters and YouTubers, and they're diving a little bit deeper into certain things, such as the bipartisan border bill, right, which was a mess, just a mess, right? And the bipartisan border bill was actually something that I found out more about from doing my research and not just listening to them use it as a talking point. I actually was like, oh, this was in the bill. That was in the bill. Then you go on YouTube, you say, ah, okay. Now they're diving deeper. They don't do this on the news. What we are tuning into, and I see everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I see you, Rat Wolf. I see you, Book 33. What people are doing now is they are showing their appreciation for alternative media. And I appreciate everybody that subscribes to my channel, that likes my view, and who doesn't like my view. I'm open to both, right? But it's the rise of alternative media because people know that I'm not bought and paid for. If I tell you Kamala Harris is a horrible candidate and what she's trying to do inside the real estate market is going to cause more inflation and X, Y, and Z, you're probably more in tune to listen to me because I don't have an agenda. I don't. This is not liberal media station Jay Jones channel, or this isn't pro-Trump Jay Jones channel. This is just my political view from an unbiased standpoint. Period. And this is why you see people like this is why you see networks like CNN bring on Scott Jennings, right? Who is dope, right? Because they know that they need someone else to deflect these biased talking points, because normal people want to see some type of discussion. They don't want to see some type of I was gonna say bereavement. I don't know how to say the word, but they don't want to see like a lecture, right? They want to see people go back and forth. And this is why you even see Fox News bring on Harold and Jessica, because we want to see that back and forth. We want to be able to think for ourselves. And that's what legacy media is not letting us do. They are programming us. My last point on this particular topic is they're programming us because think about what they've just done to Kamala Harris. Come on now, think about it, y'all. I mean, not think about it, y'all, because y'all know, right? Y'all know, I know my folks know. This lady was unpopular in 2019. She didn't win her primary. She had to drop out before they even started doing the votes. Then she gets selected as vice president. Fine. Joe Biden picks her as vice president. Cool. But then they throw Joe Biden under the bus with the tire marks still fresh on his shirt. And they prop up Kamala Harris like she's Simba. And they say, hey, guys, this is our new candidate. Isn't she so great? Don't think about the things that she did back in the day. We don't want to acknowledge what she said in 2019 about the fact that she was for transgender sex changes, for prisoners, and she was not for fracking, and she didn't want to do that. And she was for unrealized capital gains. No. We don't want you guys to pay attention to that. We want you guys to pay attention to the $1 billion that she raised. We want you guys to pay attention to the lack of real interviews that she does. We want to show you how we can program a candidate. And we hope that we do so much propaganda, we throw so much at you that you believe it. That's what they did, and they were hoping that it worked, and this was their experiment with Kamala Harris, in my opinion, that I believe that they were doing. And they epically failed.
Sensational.
And they are now scrambling. But that's what the media does. It's a program. They programmed people to think that Kamala Harris was a great candidate, and she was absolutely horrible. They programmed people to say, Joe Biden stepping out of the race was such a good thing to do. He was there to save his country. Now, how many of y'all believe that mess? Right? I don't like quitters. I don't encourage my two little girls to be quitters. And they just basically tried to prop up a quitter. But it was the propaganda that they threw in front of us to say, oh, look at Joe Biden. He was a coward. He stepped out of the way due to pressure. It's pressure that's happening every day in the presidency. Is this how he reacts to when someone calls his phone and he doesn't know what to do? Is this how he reacts when Putin tries to get a hold of him, or Putin is not, being receptive and he needs to get their attention? Is this what he does? He just gives up and maybe he just makes someone else do the work? And they program people to think that what Joe Biden did was to be celebrated. And it was the most cowardly thing that a president could have done. But that was all based on programming. And people are not as dumb as we think that they are, because America woke up on election day. All right. Let me read y'all comments. That's all I got to say about that one. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button on the way inside. Okay. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let me say what's up to Rad Wolf. Rad Wolf says, what's up? What's going on with you, sir? Or, what's going on with you? Book 33 says legacy media equals state-run propaganda stream, right? And shout out to Supreme 10. Supreme 10 is my first time seeing Book 33 and Supreme 10 on the channel. Hope y'all come back for more live streams. We do this weekly. He says peace to the chat, right? All right. So, yeah, man, I'm actually happy to see that media is dying out for so many reasons. Number one, me being a YouTuber myself, it's good to see that people are coming to different platforms to get their information, right? And they're not just doing YouTube. They're not just doing just the news. I think the news is going to be more for the older crowd, right? Your older crowd is going to love the news. But your newer crowd, some of them are listening to the TikToks of the world, which is not always the greatest. Some of them are listening to Instagram and coming over here to YouTube. But at least they're doing something different. The only thing that you have to do is you have to challenge yourself, though, when it comes to your view, because sometimes you'll fall within that algorithm and you only believe and see everything on your algorithm. So you got to challenge yourself sometime. All right.